folks, welcome to this video. We'll start here, making our way up the main drive to a piece of Cold War history. I have been here before on videos, but like I've said recently, we're limited as to where we can go, and this is a pretty cool little bit of history right on my doorstep, so let's go and have a look at it. Basically what this place was, at one time there would have been a massive mast here, a bit like what's it like Montrimond Wood and that, and they used to do a lot of communications in the war, like radar work and stuff of that kind, folks. So I can't wait to see what condition it's in now. Like, it's been a wee while since I've been in here. Look at the size of the fence. This would have been such a heavily protected area in the Cold War. It was the US military that was controlling this in the Cold War too. Look at this, folks. Imagine coming up here, there would have been a guy with a rifle there probably. Look at this. See, every bit of the gates and everything are earthed with those massive earth straps. It's been a real place in its day. See the brackets on the building wall, that was for the exhaust for the generator, which was in that shed at one time. Look at this, you would not be able to climb in there. I wonder who's got the key for this padlock. Probably a local farmer. At the end of the Cold War, a lot of these spots that were taken, this one would have been taken at the start of the Second World War or whenever, but like the ground was given back to the original landowner after the Cold War, so this is probably owned by the local farmer down the road. Shout out to you if you're watching this, mate. Cool place you've got here. Look, every bit of the fence has got like the wires on it. It's all earthed together. I'm guessing that was something so it didn't interfere with the radio signal or something. Like, every single bit of bar wire is connected. I don't think it would have been electrified in its day, like. There was heavy, like, high amounts of voltage used in this shed. They've got their own substation in that second building with emergency generator. Like, there's cement under here. The cement goes right around the perimeter of this building. The cement goes, who even knows how deep into the ground. I love exploring Cold War spots like this. It's like, it's so cool to think about how all this was just left. It's like technology and stuff moved on. And in its day, this sort of stuff was disguised to look like a house or a small farm. So if there was any like spy planes or satellites going over, they wouldn't think nothing of it. And like, this was all built in the 1940s, this building, and then it was modernised after that. I'm not sure what year, by the American military when they took over. Before we go through this whole defence here, folks, look at this. This gives you an idea of the size of the mast that was here, because it was huge. Each mast guy rope here has got its own little enclosure, and look at the size of this. That is crazy. That would have been holding the mast in that direction there, and then there was like 3 of these. There's another enclosure over there, absolutely massive. Like, cables must have been connected to that, and even the fence around this is all like connected with earth straps. Look at this, folks. It's maybe so if there was a lightning strike on any of this, or like the mast, it wouldn't cause like an EMP effect or something. I'm not even sure. Look at the size of that gate though, eh? It's crazy. There is a wee path leads off to look at over to that one. I've never been over to that one yet, but We'll go and take a look at the building. It's got that classic like British military building look to it. See, I'm not sure if there's been some wooden kind of roofed buildings out of this side here. Look at this, there's actual still paint on there, which I'm not sure if that means it was maybe indoors at one time. I think there's maybe been like a wooden shed here, maybe a barracks, so even more people could be on like on site here. Like there could have just been a little sleeping quarters for folk here. Look at that stone wall. Yeah, so maybe I'm just imagining like a little wooden kind of bunkhouse there, like. And then look, there's maybe been another one here. Yeah, because it's got the same stone outline there, which is interesting. I've never actually looked over here, this is so cool. Discovering history, folks. Look, there's actual stones here. There's a proper base here for something. Look at this. There's like metal studs sticking out of the ground. Look at that there, what has that been? Who knows what this has been here? Look at that, it's an unusual. There's like a step down here and another step up to here. It's like a separate building, but I don't think it's been built different to those ones. That's so unusual. I think this is just a bit of something that's blown in here. Yeah, I'm just trying to imagine what this building might have been. We've got the generator shed and the substation there, so it was none of that. No, unless this was like the little store shed. Oh look, there's still remains of brown paint on there. Oh, and like broken glass. The broken glass could have come from anywhere. Look at this little building here. The old doors still lie here. They've been busted off by some vandal. Look at that, the old door here. It's had some sort of lock mechanism with that metal bit at one time. And look at the old handles. I just remembered, folks, I was going to bring a torch. I've just got the torch on my phone, but that should be okay. Look at this. Here's the old health and safety storage batteries, it says. So that shows you there was batteries in here in this room as well. There's no like date on there, I don't think. Look at these old plug sockets too. Real history, folks. Classic light switch there. An interesting point with this roof, you can see the original paint line up there with the original roof, and it's got its own fittings, that wee round white light fitting there. Whereas when the Americans did it up, they've put a lower roof with like those square fibre tiles. Look at the classic here. Look at that, big on off button for the generator. I've got the torch on my phone, so it's not too bad here. General Electric company, look at that. And then inside here there's a little bulb. So there must have been like a lens on there at one time. Look at the little switch. Oh, look at the thermostat control up there. I don't know if I've ever noticed that before. Cold War thermostat control, folks. Look, it says 1924 on there. But I don't know if that's actually the year it was made. I don't think so. Oh, there's the last few remaining roof tiles that I was speaking about. And then this is where the generator would have probably vented itself out, like it would have drawn air in there potentially. This has all been smashed since the first time I came here. Somebody's been like booting that. It's like, what is the point? What's the point in booting that out? And look, the sun scored into it. Wow. Anyway, we'll move on to the next building. The next room. Look at the old light. Yeah, I might be able to extend you up there to get a decent look. Look how rusty that is. Weathered. This door here is in better condition. Look, there's been a plaque of some sort on there. I wish I could still see what it said. There's a few different layers of paint on there. Look at this. This is the big power end. Oh, that must have been connected to the generator. I'm just getting the torch sorted out there, folks. Whoa, I'm just about dropping it. Real live adventures here. Look at this. Obtain the maximum service from this switch. Look at those big connections. I think there's still switches like this used in a lot of buildings in Scotland now. Look at that, big 3-phase like setup coming in here. Look at the thickness of this wire here, folks. It's crazy. Look, it's thicker than my arm. Just about. Pretty crazy, like. And then look, there's another one there coming out the bottom of that setup. And then that all ran through underneath the floor into the main building, which is a way to take a look at. That light. And look at this, folks. This is the actual substation kind of thing. At one time that would have been buzzing and making all kinds of noises. Somebody's painted onto the colours. And look at the size of that wire coming out of there. This is the sort of thing, like, if it was in use, you couldn't come near it. It would totally blow your head off. It would electrocute you. Look at that, there's a bit of history, folks. Look, I'll try and get the reflection off it. Tested on 13th of May 1988. Like, there's still fluid in it. There's like a level glass. Wow. Oh, that's what one of them looks like inside. Wow. What? I've never seen that. Look at that, folks. Is that not the most interesting thing you've seen on this channel for a while? Inside, and what one of these here inside it, that is what? That is crazy. Oh wow. Look at this there's like plates of metal. Smells like gear oil. Plates of metal, it's like, that is crazy. Try not to drop my phone into there for sure. It's so cool to see what's actually inside one of those. It's amazing. And look, here's a safety precaution sign. It's all here, folks. That must be the number for the sign there. I don't think there's a date on it once again. Similar to the last health and safety sign that we saw. Look at this. Socket power building. So that must have been like for the rest of the building, obviously, the sockets. Engine shed, look at this. I always forget the history in a place like this. It's so cool to see how that. There has been something written on that door at one time too. Look at that, this must have been for the electric going through into the main house. The old switch here. That's one of the levers that you pull out like a massive, because you need so much leverage to switch one of them over. Look at that. Pulls the connections out like that. And that's them disconnected. The reason it fires like that, folks, with so much vigour, it's because there's so much power, it has to connect in fast like that. If it was just like connecting like a wee house switch, it would be like melting. Common power, ABT. What does that say? Retractable hander. Withdraw fully before operating, it says there. Look at these old cast iron lids here. Look at that, that's like some like Thunderbirds lights. Typical probably of the era. Look at that. Try and get the glare from the torch off it. What's this saying? Like manufactured in England. Crazy bit of history, folks. And look at this. This must be the on-off. The Dorman load line. Tons of cables leading under the floor. Under the ground at this site, there's just tons and tons of cables. So yeah, look at this, folks. What have we got on the outside here? That's probably been a light sensor to trigger that outside light. And one last thing, we'll just have a closer look around here at the side of this shed. Oh, look at this in the ground here. What's this been for? That's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's the bracket for the silencer on the generator. The ice is thawing, so the gutters are dripping. This is where the fuel pipe went into the generator through that hole. And look, that's probably been like the air intake. Or maybe no, that's just maybe a vent. Danger, high voltage. There was probably a lot of noise coming out of this shed in its day. This is where the fuel was stored for the generator. I'm pretty sure all that signing that's from the American days. And this here, this is the same pump that you get in an ROC bunker, which is also a Cold War bit of history from the same era. They probably just wanted a hand pump from the stores, and that's what they got. It is interesting to see. I'll see if it works. It doesn't work, folks. It's seized. Anyway, let's move into the next building. Look, this is where all like the underground cables. Oh, this was the drains. This one. The cables must go under these other ones. I think somebody lifted all the lids because they were convinced there's like an underground bunker or something here. But I don't think there is, personally. See, there's been like another lid here. So there's the edge. There's the edge of the thing there. I think it's just because there's so much cables and stuff today with the size of the mast that was on this site. There is a small little mast there, which might have been some little original like World War Two thing. Whereas the Cold War mast was so much bigger. Absolutely massive. Look, see, here's the outside of their old air conditioning machine. Look at that, it's got so much character. All the glass is broken in here now. There's a more modern looking light switch. What's that been in there, folks? Look at that. All that wiring's burnt. That's what that is. Whatever that is has been really hot. Oh, that's a tube light. So I think that's probably just been youngsters setting fires and stuff in here. I think this has been on fire since I was like last year. And the slightest sneeze could probably knock that roof down on my head. Look at that, it's fire, it's like smoke damaged. Look at all these boxes here. I'm standing on the old front door. It's a shame to see it in this condition. Look, there's breaker A. Some of them will be too hard to actually see. Breaker B. Breaker C. Look at that, too damaged on that. Look at all these switches, that's crazy. Look at this, folks, here we go, this is what we can be proud of. Look. Made in Great Britain. Oh look, 1970. Great Britain, 1970, that shows you. And look at that asbestos rope there to seal it. Right around the edge of it. And this is similar to the switch we saw through there. That's asbestos in the back there too, folks. But as long as you didn't upset the stuff, it'll be okay. So the first time I visited here, this door and everything was like still in place. Now there's just like a gaping hole, not even a door frame or that in it. Like, look at the old classic air conditioning system here. I'm just about falling trying to like even see the thing. There's been something on the wall there at one time. Now it's just some young Ned's graffiti. Look at this. This shows you it's like you had to clip yourself onto something. Insure equipment, something, I can't read it now. Connect electrical clip, something. Touch probe tip to circuit until discharged. So like whatever you had to do in this building was like pretty crazy. They must have been scared for like radio interference or something, or maybe because the high voltage they needed for their signals back then, it was like there was a chance you could get electrocuted from the equipment or something. There's so much cold wind blowing in here, folks. It's literally like 1 degree centigrade. I drove over some crazy ice to get here. I can't believe like most of the roof and stuff's still in place here. Look at the old vents. All these windows have got bars on them as well. The security in a location like this was crucial. Probably some of the systems that they used in here was like top secret. And even in the Cold War, they would have had like the latest tracking equipment and stuff. This was probably linked to like Edsall Air Base, which is no far away from here. It's just like wires hanging down for the roof right there. Look at the old window handles. It's starting to rust more and more. There's a metal thing on the roof here too, and that is where the cables came in from the main mast. Probably the main cables went out and in there. That's how there's like this lobby to nowhere. Look up there, folks, that's 4 what would have been like massive cables. I don't know if there's been anything here at all. Oh, that's maybe where the cables come in for that smaller mast. There's been something up here, maybe a shelf. And there's been another bracket. That's holding something on at the other side of this wall. I think that's what that is. Look at this, folks, this is... Oh no, I was thinking it was green tiles, but I think that's actually moss. Because look, it would have been these. Is that the original grey tiles, or has it been... Oh, it's maybe just been that carpet. But then who knows? I was thinking in World War Two they maybe had a different carpet like, but I think it's maybe totally gone when they refurbished it. Let's go in here now, look folks, look, there's like, the wall's just been kicked to hell here. And there's one of the original boxes for the old fire blanket. I think those same boxes can be seen in ROC bunkers. But there was originally a couple of them in this building when I first came. Oh, there was nothing on that bracket. I think that's been like the little control lever mechanism for that there, which is a second air conditioning system. That looks a lot newer than the other end. Yeah, I need to extend you up there to see this, folks. I think it's some address on Dundee, look. Let me see that, that's pretty cool. Look at the phone number, it's a digitless. So that shows the sort of thing. Look at the fire exit, it's got some weird pull string thing on it there. Look at this. Like, there's actually a hole, it looks like it's been bitten through by mice or rats. Like, that's where the telecoms came into the building. It's quite a crazy place, folks. And on the back of this door, nah, just an old vent. One of those classic, like, to open bright glass. It's just a shame that there's so much graffiti and stuff, and it's a shame that people like vandalise places like this. But then the only other option is to lock it up, and then people like me wouldn't be able to come in and have a proper look. Look at these old door handles here. Total, maybe the original World War Two ones. There's C3. Wonder if that means it was like breaker C that was using. Past the entrance hall again, folks. Look at this room, it's so damaged with fire. Look at the poles, they're just burnt. So now I've got my new camera, it's pretty cool to come to places like this again and have a fresh look. No much has changed in the year since I've been here last, like, but it's like crazy cobwebs. The paint's just like peeling off there. These old window frames are epic, like. And there has been curtain rails up there as well. Because they did try and make places like this look like houses just back in the day. Oh, I just stood on that crusty mattress, look at that. Oh, it's probably rats and mice now living in that, like. Full temperature control. And then they did have phones as well through here. Look at that. Bakelite door handles on that door too. Look at this, folks, the notice board's still up. Little hooks. There's probably been like clipboards here or something. It's pretty dark in this bit of the building, and since it's been burnt, it really doesn't help. Look, there's been so much stuff pinned onto this board at one time. What does that say there, the sun? It's hard to read it, folks. I was trying to see if there was any like historical graffiti here from maybe like soldiers and that was based here. But I really didn't think there was. At the end of the Cold War, they must have blacked all that out, so you couldn't see what it said. Again, it could have been something cool. There's still one of the main, like, original light shades up there, which is pretty crazy. Like, it's amazing that that's the one thing that's not been broken in here yet. This room here's not in bad nick. You can see how the heat for the fire's just about been busting through there. What's that been? Just some leaflets or something they've been handing out. Look at this, the stuff's just been growing right through here. It's like a jungle. Just shows you how nature takes over. This must have been their fire escape originally from the metal bars. 'Cause this is like the only room where you can open the metal bars. There's another thermostat control. Old hooks. It's so dark in this room. This has got a smaller window, this room. Look at that. It's just a little window higher up. Never noticed that before. There's like rocks and stuff people have been throwing in through the windows. Let's hope they didn't do that right now. Look at this old heater, folks. This is one of my favourite old features here. Check it out, the old control knob. This is like 1950s looking. Maybe originally when they built this, that was maybe one of the first heaters. And they probably had the best heaters to any place like this. Look at the way the paint is just like peeling off the walls. The old water tank here. That water tank used to sit on that little cement pedestal there. Look at these old heaters. These sort of heaters were in a lot of military buildings. And look at the floor tiles, that's so cool. That's the original floor tiles. It is cool to look at history like this before it's gone. Just imagine when it was in its prime. It was totally built for a purpose. A purpose of defending the country. That's how now it's just no needed. Check it out, look at that little... It's been the light switch on and off up there. And look, that must have been the heater. Or what would that have been? The shower on and off. That's what that must have been. Look at this, folks. It's the red ring Instant 7. Look at that. An old shower head. Cold War shower, folks. The tiles still look like new. Like even that, it's got a designated number on it, C6. And then a separate door here for the shite house. Look at this brick's still like lodged in the window. There's some Ned. Imagine you were standing here when that came flying through. Yeah, folks. The same floor tiles in here as what it was in the whole bathroom and the kitchen as well, the other side. The mirror and that's been broken. Look, they've had the sink here with the wee windy. They would have been standing here having a shave. Oh, like old newspaper. Oh my god. I wish I could read the date on that. That'll tell us exactly when this bathroom was fitted out. There's an advertisement there for a car called a Cadet. A Cadet hatchback, £2,658. Saloons or hatchbacks? Let's get this through. So I was just trying to see if I could see anything with this paper, and I'm struggling. Like a Volvo 244 LPG. It's hard to really see what they're saying here. Open, what's this, Opel? Oh, it's an Opel Cadet. Sadly, this is the bottom of the page here, not the top, so we can't really see a year. Oh look, there's a phone number, like ask Jimmy, he buys anything it says. That's crazy. Oh, so the phone numbers are crazy, it's hard to see the year. Paisley. It's interesting to find an old newspaper there, folks. It's interesting. Look at that. Morris Marina advert. Look at this, folks. Here we go. Sorry about the shaky camera angle. From Leyland Cars, look, that's a British bit of history right there. That is crazy. Discovering history, folks, look at that. We'll put it in the cupboard. But I can guarantee next time I come here it'll be gone. This has been where the kitchen was, obviously. Look, there's the cooker. 1950s cooker. And it wasn't in bad condition the first time I came here. Now look at that. Look at that, call fire department 222. Looks like they've changed it with a white pen at one time, because 999 is the number here. I wonder if that cooker was like brought over from America by the American military. Look at this line here, folks. There's like an old dustpan. Could have been original at the building. Anyway, we'll move on our journey of history, folks, right out of here. See what else we can find. See, there's been like a boxed off section here, which must have been over the top of that boiler at one time, or water tank. Don't know if it was the boiler or water tank, like, I think it was the boiler. folks. It's quite a big unit. It's amazing nobody scrapped it. It's proper heavy. I've got the torch here. I don't know if that's too bright for my face or what. So this is like a tester for that, for future explorers. There we go, folks. The rain has just come on super heavy since I've been in here. Kind of like Scotland in the winter. You might think it looked bonny when I came in about here initially. But let's go and have a look outside. I've got to go and walk like 2 miles now back to my car. We'll leave all this history here. I'll be able to tell when that sink and that was fitted from that newspaper that I found. That is interesting. See when those old British cars were on the go, but I think it's 1970s that. Look at this, we've got water literally dripping off the roof in front of me. Look, the place is like soaking. Anyway folks, I'll end this one here. Thanks very much for watching. I'm getting the hood up. I'm going to make a quick exit here, folks. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you in the next episode very soon.